So here's a little example I just threw together for us. What I have here is two different chord progressions. I'm thinking of this as like a verse and a chorus kind of thing to kind of more of a pop song, but it applies in really all music, this concept of borrowing. So I have a chord progression that's 2 bars long here, and then I've done it twice. So these 2 bars are just a repeat of these 2 bars because I just wanted to get it in your head a little bit better. So let's look at what we've got here. We're in the key of G major. So here's our possible chords here. So we have a 1 chord, G major, right? Here we have a C chord. It's inverted, but that's okay. It's a C major chord, so that's a 4. Here we have an E minor chord. It's also inverted. That's a 6. And then we have a D major chord. That's a 5. And then again, 1, 4, 6, 5. Okay? So 1, 4, 6, 5. Now we go over here. In this little section, what I've added here is an A major chord. So that is not in the key. That is in D, though. So it's in the key of D. It works. So a closely related key I've borrowed from and added this A major chord. Then I go to a D major chord. So back to G major and to the 5. However, that's also in the key of D, so it could be in either. And now again, with a slightly different inversion, but the same chord, A major. And then here I threw in a D7 chord. So this is inverted, but if we want to see it a little more clearer, let's put a D at the bottom. So here's our D7 chord. For that, we need this C natural again, and that's going to push us back to this G. Because remember, we learned last time that 5-7 chord has a pull back to the tonic, which is G in this case. Hopefully, it still feels like tonic. So then I gave us the chord progression one more time and then resolved to G major. Okay, so let's hear this, and then we'll take this sharp off and hear it again as if we stayed in key. Okay, here we go. Okay, so something a little strange happens here, right? There's a little bit of like a what kind of sensation that happens right there because the C sharp is not in the key, right? But we've borrowed it, and that's okay. Let's hear what happens when we take that down to a C natural here as well. Okay, so now nothing is out of key. Everything is completely in key. Let's hear what we've got. Right? So to me, it sounds fine that way. It sounds perfectly fine, but sometimes you want something that sounds a little out of the ordinary, right? And that's where this borrowing situation comes into play. Composers have been doing this for centuries. Just borrow from a different key when you need something a little more, just a little bit more colorful in your chord progression than just what we expect with diatonics. And that's how we can use the circle of fifth for writing music. You can't find that chord you're looking for, jump over to the circle of fifth, find your closely related keys, grab one, and then look at your possible keys, your possible chords within that key, see if anything there works, right? This got us 2 good options by doing this. It got us this A major and it got us this F sharp minor, which I didn't use, but I could have. Let's hear this one more time, back with the C sharps in it.